Welcome to the Dental 18 podcast. We're your hosts, Kiera Dent
and Dr. Mark Costas.
Mark and I had this crazy idea that maybe we could combine a dentist and a team member's perspective because let's face it, dentistry can be a challenging profession with those two perspectives. And Dental 18 podcast was created.
I'm a practicing dentist, a multiple practice owner, a dental performance coach, and the founder of the Dental Success Institute.
I've been a dental assistant, treatment coordinator, scheduler, biller, office manager, current practice owner, and international dental consultant. Mark and I don't just understand you, we are you.
Our goal is to positively impact the world of dentistry by sharing our lessons learned from the road in hundreds of dental offices.
Two perspectives, one mission, to help dental professionals reach their full potential. Welcome to the Dental 18 podcast. Hello, Dental 18. I am so excited to talk to you. I'm flying solo, and I feel like this is something that deserves a Thursday meeting topic for your Monday morning meetings. So this should be released on Thursday. That way your team can listen to it and you can role play. Dun, 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 dun. I know you're all excited for role play because you listened to our podcast on role playing and how to do it effectively. And I just did role play in an office, and I will tell you, I asked this office, why do you all hate role playing? And sure enough, every single one of them had been made fun of some point in their life at something, and we were able to get over it. We were able to have fun, and you'd be shocked at how good these ladies are doing. They were doing fantastic on the role play. So I'm going to give you a topic, a thing that I just absolutely love for you to role play out. Role play through these things. These are what will change. These are what take you from sitting on the sidelines, thinking you're doing awesome, to actually doing it and doing it really, really, really well. They always say practice makes perfect, but they've changed that, and it's perfect practice makes perfect. So role play these out in your weekly meetings. You're all going to feel dumb. You're going to roll your eyes. It's totally cool. Try it out. Try and have a good attitude and see where you can improve, because this is like what splits the teams, right? Like, think about it. Why did we name this podcast the Dental A Team? Because the A team, like, those are the best of the best of the best. They're not the B team or the C team or the D team. And after that, I don't even know if there are teams. But this is the A team. This is that first lineup. Now, my brothers, I have lots of brothers, like a lot, I feel. I have 4 brothers and I have 2 sisters. I have a pretty big family. And my brothers, my dad coached. He did other things, but one of his passions in life is coaching. And so my dad coached all my siblings. And it's okay. I wasn't the best at any sport, so I played tennis, and I only played tennis because I wanted the cute little like tennis skirt. And so clearly in my life, I became a dental assistant because I wanted to wear scrubs, and I became a tennis on the varsity tennis team to wear the skirt. So clearly in life, I just want to wear outfits. So that's what motivated me. But all my other siblings are really incredible athletes. My brothers, the bulk of them played basketball. That was my dad's main true love. And my sisters, they played tennis and soccer. So my younger sister, she's a rock star at soccer. She is fantastic on the left side. She's also a phenomenal tennis player. I have 4 siblings that are really, really, really incredible tennis players. And my other siblings are amazing at basketball. So with basketball, I remember because my 2 brothers closest to me, they played basketball. And they were both on the varsity team. But I remember when they were trying out, it was a super stressful time in my family's life when they'd be trying out for school, because there'd be the list, and they would either be on, they were the starters or they're the benchers. And I feel like the starters are equivalent to the A team. The starters are the ones who start the game. They're your best players. You put your best foot forward every time playing these sports games. And so my brothers were always devastated. I remember one year, I can't remember which brother it was, but they weren't a starter. They were pretty much benched, and it was rough. We'd go to these games and we'd watch my brother sit on the sideline. And so he would practice, and he'd practice, and he'd practice, and he'd practice, and he'd do strength training. And they tried to have me lift weights with them. That was a poor choice. My brother once told me I'm the worst, lifting partner he's ever met, because I would lift for one day and be too sore the next day and forget. I would just never want to go back out and lift again. But my brothers were they'd practice and they'd practice and they'd practice. They would be watching all the training videos on basketball. I have watched more basketball training movies than I care to admit. There's one called Hoosiers. There's one called Pistol Pete. I could probably recite that entire movie for you because I watched it so many times. And in those movies, it was all the different techniques of being the best starter, the A team of these teams. And so my brothers, I tie that into this podcast today because when you're role playing, when you're practicing as team members, yeah, I know it's totally not fun to role play. Trust me, I hate role playing. I don't enjoy making teams do it. But what I do know is when you role play these tactics out, when you actually try them and you're doing perfect practice instead of just practice, you're putting forth your effort. I know you feel awkward, but put it forward, because then when a patient's standing in front of you, it's not even a question for you of if you can say this or not. I was in an office the other day, and because that's all I do, you guys. I talk on the microphone and I'm in offices. That's my life and I love it. But I was in an office the other day and this one girl said, Kiera, you were so good. And don't worry, I'm going to do a podcast on this because it was real fun. But she said, Kiera, you're really good at objections and you're good with your words and you're good with how you said it. And I looked her in the eyes and I said, guess what? This is not natural Kiera. I was not a fantastic dental assistant my entire life. I was not amazing at these things just straight out of the get-go. My whole life, I've had to work really hard for anything I've ever wanted. But it's that dedication to be the best, to be on the A team, to be the best version of myself. And so I would practice. I used to practice my treatment plans and I would practice my verbiage and I'd practice as a dental assistant how to pass instruments. Like truly, I would sit at home when I first was becoming a dental assistant and I'd make my mom, well, I wouldn't make her, I would ask her to sit there with me and to practice handing pencils back and forth so I could get better and faster. And I would time myself and I'd practice the steps of how this doctor did endo. Like I would truly write down every single step of a procedure and I would go home and I'd have my mom quiz me and I would memorize step after step after step. So when I went to work the next day, I knew exactly what was going to happen. I pushed myself, you guys. These skills, I'm not naturally born and talented with these things. These were not things that happened, but perfect practice creates perfect results. So I'm going to challenge each of you to go out and to be part of the A team. Like don't just lollygag around, like be part of the A team with us. Be like my brothers, practice, practice, practice. And I want you to think of that as role play. Role play is your chance to practice before it's game day. And what kind of practice are you putting in before you're put on the court? Every single day, your doctor is putting you on the court. You're their starters. You're the one who they're putting on the front line. You're their assistant, their scheduler, their treatment coordinator, office manager, hygienist. You're that person. They're trusting you to be on their front line, to be their starting lineup. So be the A team, not the B team, C team, or D team. And check yourself. Where are you? So we're going to role play this out. It's going to be a ton of fun. The thing is handoffs. I love handoffs. But I also think handoffs can get sloppy because I watch a lot of them in a lot of offices. And we think that we're doing one thing. And the reality is we're doing something totally opposite. I don't know if I've shared this or not. So it's a good memory jog if you've heard it. And it's a good first time story if you haven't. But there was a time where I decided I wanted to do this presentation and I thought it'd be a great idea to do a dance to Michael Jackson on the Wii. And I think I'm a pretty great dancer. I took dance in my life, believe it or not. And I decided I'd be recorded doing Michael Jackson on the Wii. So I put my best foot forward. I knew I was going to be presenting this to hundreds of people that I didn't know, and my Mark Costas would be evaluating me. So I decided I better do a really good job. In my mind, I was Michael Jackson himself. And when I watched the recording, I'm a total white girl who can't dance. When he was going left, I was going right. When he was leaning forward, I was leaning backwards. My moves were off by at least a beat every single move. It was pathetic. It was ridiculous. But guys, in my mind, as Michael Jackson himself, I look just like MJ. And I think that that's the purpose of role play, trying these things out. Because all the time in offices I hear, well, Kiera, I do that with patients. Kiera, I do that when I'm on the phone. If you can have perfect practice, then on game day, I know you actually know how to do this. So with handoffs, just try this out. Try it out with your team. Role play it. It's Monday morning or whatever day you do your weekly meetings. Try this with your team. So a perfect handoff. It starts with the doctor. This is the NDTR. If any of you have heard it, awesome. If not, it's a great reminder. You can say North Dakota totally rocks. New dentist, tough road. Nevada dentist, totally rock. I don't care. Nebraska dentist, totally rock, or never date the rookie. I don't care which one resonates with you. Try it out. So NDTR. Doctor goes in to do the exam. Doctor's responsible for NDT. They need to tell us every time. They'll say, hey, Kiera, I'm going to do a comp exam. I'm going to tell Sally over here a bunch of numbers. Then I'll set you up, tell you what all these things mean and where we're going to start. They do the comp. Then they have to choose a starting place. That's the next visit. What is that patient coming back for? Okay, Kiera, I said a lot of things. We're going to get started with the upper right. We've got a crown and 2 fillings there. That's where I want to start. Doctor then says the date range. When do they want to see this patient back? And please do not say soon, as soon as possible. Let's get you scheduled. Those are super vague, doctors. Don't say that. You set us up for failure every time, because guess what that patient heard? Loophole. They can get out of this treatment. Give them something specific. If I say I want to see you soon, soon's relative. Who knows when I'm going to see you? But if I say I want to see you in 1 week, I want to see you in 2 weeks, everybody can connect to that. So doctors, look at your schedule, pick the time that you want to see that patient back. This is just giving them something they can connect to, the patient can resonate with. After that, you then are going to, doctors need to say time of how long this procedure is going to be. This solves a ton of problems in an office. It helps the schedulers know how much time to schedule for this particular patient. It also helps the patient know they're not going to be here for 8 hours a day to do one filling, which in some patients' mind, they think they'll be here. So this also helps the doctor stay accountable. So doctors would say, all right, Kiera, we're going to get started with the upper right. We've got that crown and a couple of fillings. It's best for us to do them all in one visit. We get better results, and we only have to numb you one time. I'd like to see you back in about 2 weeks, and I need to see you for about an hour and a half to get that completed. We'll get you in, get you out. Can't wait to see you in 2 weeks. Doctor leaves. I say write NDTR on your route slips. Do not slip away from this. If you're on Open Dental, type it up. But I have found that offices that write this down and they write this in every single patient. So you follow the same pattern consistently, you get consistent results. The offices that say, don't worry, Kiera, we got this. Our doctor does it every single time. Sure, you might, but you're also human. So odds are you're going to forget one of these every so often. So why set yourself up for failure? Just put it on the route slip. Fill it in every single time. The doctor saying that to the patient is two things. One, the patient needs to hear it. And two, you as the team member needs to hear it as well. Then we take that, we've written it down, we already know. My personal favorite is if in the back office, the team can schedule them back there. Okay, Kiera, doctor wants to see you back in 2 weeks for an hour and a half. It looks like I've got Wednesday at 4:00. Does that work for you? Please do not use the verbiage, okay, we want to get you back in 2 weeks. When's good for you? As soon as you say when's good for me, I think of my entire calendar of all the reasons, all the appointments and everything as to why I can't come see you. If you give me a specific time, I instantly can think of my calendar. Yep, got it. Wednesday, 4:00, totally golden. Let's do it. Now, it came up the other day of, well, Kiera, what if we want to put them in the morning, but they want an afternoon? Guess what? Use your magic words, ladies and gentlemen. You can totally get a patient to schedule where you want them to by saying, you know what? Dr. So-and-so, they love to do their crowns in the morning. I would want you to get the best results. Let's reserve an 8:00 appointment or a 10:00 appointment. That way we get the best results for you. I've got 10:00 on Wednesday at 3:00 or whatever. That's how you get them. Doctor, put it on your doctor. Patients want to do what your doctor says. It's totally fine to not get the patient the exact time of day that they're looking for, especially if your doctor's fantastic and they know your doctor's fantastic. Use those. I also like scheduling in the back because it puts an emphasis on treatment, not an emphasis on money. Also, the patient's not at the front door. They're more likely to be thinking about dentistry, not about getting out the door onto their next appointment. So that's personally why I like any office that can schedule in the back. Do it. Do it as often as possible. That makes the handoff even easier. We have one less person to play telephone with and possibly miscommunicate with. If you're not scheduling in the back or you don't have time, it's totally fine. You have it written down. That last R on the NDTR stands for recall, and I've bumped this up. So all you gurus on NDTR, I've added one more piece to it. It stands for recall, making sure the patient themselves and their family are all scheduled for recall. You check that every time. And I also use it for receipt. The term receipt elicits a response that there's payment involved. So it's a very easy handoff to the front office, and it should go like this. If they're not scheduled in the back, you would then say, taking them up to the treatment coordinator, always remembering to pass off awesome, like gratification or edification of the team member. That's what we're looking for because patients want to feel really good. So I'd head up front, say the treatment coordinator's Sarah, and we're handing off Sally. So I'd say, hey, Sarah, this is Miss Sally. Today we completed her cleaning, exam, and x-rays. It's all set complete in the chart. Doctor would like to get her back for the upper right. Doctor would like to see her in 2 weeks for about an hour and a half. If you've scheduled at this point, you'd say, I already have her scheduled for Wednesday, May 4th at 4 p.m. If you could, and she's also scheduled for her recall, but I told her that you would get her checked out and get her a receipt for today. Sarah's fantastic, Miss Sally. Do you have any questions for me before I leave you? Sally says, nope, Awesome, Sally. Well, if you have any questions, I'm always right here for you. But I know Sarah's going to take great care of you, and you dismiss yourself. If you haven't scheduled them, you would then say, all right, Miss Sarah, this is Sally. Sally, we completed our treatment for today. We did the prophy, fluoride exam, and x-rays. It's all set complete for you. Doctor would like to get Sarah back. Excuse me, Sally is our patient. Doctor would like to get Sally back in 2 weeks for about an hour and a half. We're going to start with that crown on the upper right. She is scheduled for her cleaning, and I told her you'd get her a receipt for today. And then I'd say, Sally, do you have any questions for me? Nope. Great. Okay, perfect. Well, Sarah's amazing. She's going to take great care of you. And I'm always here if you have any questions, and I can't wait to see you in 2 weeks. And then you dismiss yourself. At this point, the TC either picks up right where you dropped off. When you say what you did for the day, that creates value for the patient. They hear again what you did for the day. They also helps eliminate any confusion. And you in the back office, this reminds you like, oh, I forgot to post that we did fluoride. It's just a check for you. Also by repeating again what doctor said. And if there's any reason for that crown, say doctor wants to do the crown due to the crack or whatever it is, any words that the doctor said, repeat them. You should think of yourself as a parrot of the doctor saying it to the treatment coordinator. So the treatment coordinator acts as if they were in the room without being in the room with you. They should have all the exact same verbiage. So the TC picks it right back up where you left off. This helps on so many levels. Did you hear? And then at this point, TCs, don't botch it. Pick it right back up and put the emphasis on treatment. So go for it and schedule. Okay, Sally, it looks like we need to get you back in 2 weeks. Doctor needs an hour and a half. Whew, let's get you in. I want to make sure we can see you. It looks like I have Wednesday at 4:00. Let's reserve that time for you. Does that work for you? Once again, I'm doing the exact same thing that we were doing in the back office. We're just now doing it in the front office for the same reason. A lot of TCs are like, okay, so your total for that is da-da-da-da-da. Now let's get you scheduled. And people question me on this a lot. Totally fine. Question, you've got to be behind this 100%. But what I found is if you put the emphasis on scheduling, not the emphasis on money, the patient realizes it's important. We're getting this treatment done. I'm assuming you're doing this. I know you want to do this treatment because you trust our doctor. I trust our doctor. We're moving forward with it. With that said, then we are then moving into scheduling. Then you show the patient the treatment plan. Okay, Sally. Guys, I'm thinking it's myself. Okay, Miss Sally. So it looks like to get that crown and those fillings done, your total out of pocket would be $1,300. However, your insurance looks like it's pretty awesome. And as long as there's nothing outstanding that we weren't able to see, it looks like they're estimated to be a supplemental help and they're estimated to pay about $400, which means your total will be $900 at the time of service next week on Wednesday. Does that work for you? Patient either says yes or no. If they say no, like, awesome. Let's chat about this. Let's find a solution that does work. We can always scale back treatment. We can offer payment options. I usually say, no problem, Sally. My job is to help find an answer. And I found that there's always a solution. So let's dive into it. Do you want this treatment done? Yes. Yes, I do. I know I need to get this done. Let's get it done. Okay, beautiful. So if we know that, let's talk about what you can afford. That way we can make sure we're in the ballpark. So what can you afford? That way I'm in the same ballpark as you. We go to the next one. At that point, I offer my different payment options, 50/50, care credit. There's also compassionate financing. There's a lot of different options. We can also start building a savings fund. An office asked me the other day, this lady needs to get her crown done. She's on a fixed income. Guess what? Could we save $10? Could we save $20 into an account and build up a fund? Could we even do $50 a month and just start building this fund up and schedule you out a couple of months to get this treatment done? There's always, always, always a solution. Treatment coordinators, they also set you up to print a receipt. Don't skip this last step of printing out the walkout. I used to skip it all the time. I would be like, they're fine. I did it. I check on the route slip to make sure that what they posted in the back matches what they said they did on the route slip. That's a checks and balance for you. Also, when you are walking it out, I print a walkout statement and then I show the patient, okay, Sally, so today we did your prophy, fluoride exam and x-rays, and I literally point to it on the walkout. This is a check for me. There are so many times that the fluoride is not posted on there and I'm like, oh, let's get that fluoride posted on there. It's a good catch for you. So make sure, get in the habit of saying this out loud. Here it all is. Looks like this is all sent off to insurance. This was the total that you paid today. And here's your next visit next week on Wednesday. And here's your treatment plan for you. That is the receipt. This way, if you need to collect money, it's already set up and it's super easy for you. You just need to take it all the way. This way, you guys, try the NDTR. It is a perfect package tied up with a bow that's very, very simple. And this is a prime Monday morning meeting. You might even try this for an entire month. Practice every single step of the way. Practice scheduling in the back office. Practice having your doctor give the exam. Doctors, if they don't give you all the information, team members prompt them. Okay, Dr. So-and-so, so you want to get Kiera back in like 1 week, 2 weeks? What were you kind of thinking? Oh, I definitely want to see you in 2 weeks. Oh, and how much time do you need for that crown? What are you thinking? Let's do an hour and a half for that. I think that'll be perfect. Beautiful. Thanks so much, Dr. So-and-so. We can prompt them. Practice every single step of this from start to finish. Stick one of the team members in the chair. Have the doctor do the exam. Practice charting. Practice writing NDTR. Practice scheduling in the back. Practice the objections. This is where the magic happens. This is where you're part of the A team, guys. Perfect practice. And don't be afraid, team members. If you see something that your team member's doing, have the meeting of love. Hey, how would you like me? Like if I notice something, how can I help you? Some people like it to be direct. Other people, they like it to be a little softer. Other people, they'd rather you correct them in private as opposed to in front of a whole group. Ask the team. But I have found teams that know their role playing and they know they role play it out every single time and we stop them when it's not correct. They get really, 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 really good at these items. So there's your guys' challenge. Hope you guys loved this. As always, if you have any questions or thoughts or feedback, shoot us an email, info@thedentalateam.com. I want all of you to feel empowered and inspired. I believe teams are magic. I think that that's where the magic lies in a dental practice. So if we can inspire that A team out there, that's what we're trying to do. All right, guys, Kiera Dent. Can't wait to catch you guys next time on the Dental A Team. And that wraps it up for another episode of the Dental A Team podcast. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll talk to you next time.